I'm thinking about extending my follow through. I want my arms and my hands out to the target and my hands farther from my hip, but I'll extend my follow through. What's happening, guys? So today we're going to talk about some short game, learn how to control high, medium, low shots. Got a couple different options for you, but we're going to tackle one right now. One way we do it is we can move ball position around. That's kind of the obvious one. And my thing is, you only want to move the golf ball one ball position up or back. You don't want to move it right toe to left toe or anything crazy. So it's really a small change. So knowing that, I'm going to give you something a little bit different. We're going to talk about some wrist angles and some finish positions that can help you hit a little higher, a little softer. I have a 54 degree, so everything you hear today is not with a lob wedge. Before we get into that though, we'd love for you to go down there and subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. Let me know what you think, let me know what you want to see, and go out and try these tips and shoot it down in the little comment section. Let me know how they work for you, so that way we can keep giving you awesome stuff. So let's get into this video. Got the short game green behind me. Let's start hitting some close wedge shots and get that up and down. Well, that wasn't a half bad pitch there, guys. So let's talk about short game and how we're going to hit shots. So here we have just a very, very standard shot, nothing fancy. It's 5 to 7 yards of fairway to cover to get to the putting surface with plenty of green to use. So there was an old school mentality that said get on the green as fast as you can and get it running, and I'm not opposed to that idea by any stretch of the imagination. But here's what I would tell you to think and consider is, if you're not comfortable hitting low runners and you're more comfortable hitting high trajectory shots, there's nothing wrong with that. That was just a stigma that used to be tossed around a little bit that I don't think really holds its weight. So here, right, you can do whatever you want. Now, I have a lot of people ask me what are some good ways to hit it high, hit it low. Obviously moving that ball position around obviously helps a little bit, where you can move it back and move it forward. So I mean, you could play it back in your stance and hit your little basic low runner, and then you can move it up in your stance, open the face a little bit, and see that ball go a little higher, right? That's what I said at the beginning of the videos. Those are very easy ways to manipulate it, and I would strongly encourage you to do that. And the only thing I would tell you is keep that ball position very short in distance and how far back and how far forward you place it. So the other way I tell people, and this is more of a feeling of how I try to hit these shots, is when I try to hit something low and runny, I'm thinking about extending my follow through. I want my arms and my hands out to the target and my hands farther from my hip. So what I'll do is when I get set up to hit a shot, I'll take my aim. Maybe if I want to move the ball back in my stance, I'll move it back in my stance, but I'll extend my follow through. And that gets the ball to hit and fly out and have a little better squeeze and get a little better roll. And if you've seen my video before about the 3 wrist positions we use or can use, this would be a good time to use the one where you use very little wrist conditions, where it's very static, back and through, keeps a wide arc, keeps the ball low and running. Might have made one there. Short. So, great option. If it's more of a high trajectory bias shot, and I want to try and hit it a little higher, that's more my style. What I like to think about doing is I want to try and park the butt of my club into my pocket. So what I mean by that is I'll make a normal backswing, and when I finish, the club is really close to my body here, as opposed to really far away. Okay? The club head's going to pass my hands. This is not a flip. Everybody gets worried about flips. It's funny, I've teach a lot of different handicaps. And I had one guy one time who was a classic chicken winger flipper at the ball, and he hated it in his full swing, which I completely agree was not good. But then we got to go work on some pitch shots, and he was trying to do what we worked in his full swing about keeping the shaft lean and all this other stuff. And I looked down and said, hey, Jay, this is the time to be a world-class flipper if you want to hit a high soft pitch shot or bunker shot. And so the difference between a flip is our hands don't hit the brakes by our right hip. Our hands are hitting the brakes kind of around left pocket. And so that's why I kind of came up with the terms like park the grip in your pocket. So you get set up, you can move that ball up in your stance, and then you're just going to park the grip in your pocket. Ball goes a little higher, doesn't roll out quite as far. You don't have quite the connection on the club face. So the ball doesn't have a lot of forward velocity, it has a little more upward velocity, so that's why it lands a little softer. If you notice, I wipe the club face off every time I hit one of these shots because we got a dewy morning. Plus, having clean grooves makes it a little bit better for better contact. So let's try that again. We're going to park this one in my pocket again. And so when I have that sensation of parking the club in my pocket, I feel like my hands are coming to a stop and the club head's going through really fast. So it feels more like brakes hit here, club head keeps accelerating, and I kind of finish there. And then obviously we have the one in between, right? We have that kind of like mid trajectory. So we have the lower one, ball back, arms reaching. We got the little bit ball up, hands parking in the pocket. The middle one, ball's in the middle. I just like to have soft elbows. I'm not trying to keep it really close. I'm not trying to extend it really far out. This is just kind of more of your basic ho-hummer. And it kind of gets your ball on its way. So again, some things to remember here is that there's a lot of way to skin the cat, if you will. And I had a very easy looking pitch. Like I said, I got about 7 yards of fairway to cover, and then it's on to about 15 yards of roll out of green. Nothing in the way. It's literally dealer's choice. I see too many people trying to force their hand to get the ball in the green really quick, and then they don't cover the green, and then it turns into this, another chip shot or long putt scenario. Do whatever's comfortable. I have players that can flop it to there, and I have players that bump and run it. It's completely dealer's choice. It's whatever you're more comfortable with. So, big keys again, recap. Move ball position only a golf ball back and forth in your stance. If we're going to do a low runner, maybe that no hinge wrist condition, longer follow through, farther from the body, ball up in the stance. If I want the higher shot with a more handsy approach, parking the butt of the club into my pocket. And then if I want that medium trajectory, just somewhere in between. Nice and soft elbows. Everything's nice and relaxed and letting that bounce do the work. So if you like that tip today, ladies and gentlemen, because we continue down this short game route, leave a comment below. Tell me what you want to see next in your short game aspects, and we'll get that thing dialed up for you. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and share these videos with your friends as the channel continues to grow, and I appreciate that support. Until next time, make a bunch of birdies. We'll see you soon.